Hello everyone! Today we'll be weaving a beautiful rainbow to celebrate the start of spring. Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of the sun and of rainbows soon. Let's get started. In your kits you'll have half of a paper plate and you'll need to paint it. I already painted mine to test out these plates, so I'm just going to show you on this full plate what to do. See this colorful pattern it has on the edge? Paint that with the white paint in your kit so that the pattern won't show through the blue. Then, once the white paint is dry, paint the whole plate blue. It should look a little something like this. Now we need to turn this plate into a loom by cutting some slits for the yarn to fit into. Cut one slit into the bottom of your plate, right in the middle. Then cut another slit into the top of your plate, right above your first cut. We're going to have 7 total cuts along this top, so you need to cut another 3 slits on each side of the curved top. Try to space them out evenly. There's a picture on your instruction sheet to help you visualize where you should put them. I'm cutting one side, and then I'll do my best to line up the slits on the other half of the plate with the 3 cuts I've already made. You don't want the slits to be too deep, just enough for some yarn to be able to stick in it. You can use the grooves on the ridge of the plate to help you space things out. Okay, now that this plate is a loom, we'll make what's called the warp. The warp is the yarn that stays in place and we weave into. We're using white yarn for that. Can you guess why? I'll tell you at the end of this video. So stick one end of the white string into the bottom slit on your plate. If you discover your slit is a little too small, you can always grab your scissors and cut it a little bigger. I had to for this bottom one. Now make sure for this bottom that you leave some extra string hanging off the back. Now wrap the white string up and onto the slit at the top of your plate. Bring it down and pull it up so that it goes into the bottom slit again, and then wrap it so it goes through another of the slits on the plate. Keep doing this over and over, going through the bottom slit each time until you have a white thread through every slit. See, through the bottom, up and over, into the slit, down, through the bottom, up and over into the slit. Once you have all of them done, tie a knot on the back of your plate. You want to keep all of the strings nice and taut. Not so tight that they make the plate curl up, but not loose either. And then you can just cut off the extra so it's not flopping around back there. And you should now have 7 white strings on the plate just like this. That's our warp. Now we can make the weft, which is what we call the yarn that we weave through the warp. We weave from the bottom to the top on this, so that means the first color we use is purple. Tie the purple string onto your white string, one of the edge white strings. Nice and tight. And then snip off the extra. Don't accidentally cut off the long end, that's what we need. To start, I'm going to wrap it around and under this first string. Then I'm going to go over the next string and under the third one. Weaving is just moving the weft over and under the warp over and over again. So you can just go over one string, then under the next, over and over. When you get to the end, turn in the other direction by wrapping around the last string. Try to keep your string from being too loose so that your weaving doesn't get lumpy, but don't pull it as tight as you can. We don't want that either. And with this first purple section, you probably want to help it get to the bottom by pushing it down some if you see it rising up higher on the strings than you want it to be. You can just kind of scoot it down. For each color, you should have enough string to go across the plate 5 times. Once you finish your 5th time across, it's time for the next color. Let's get blue started. Tie it to your purple string near where you think the end of the row is, however you can. If you don't know how to tie strings together, you can always tie the blue string around the purple string, and then the purple string around the blue string. That's what I'm doing for this row, to prove that even if you only know how to tie the simplest, most basic knot, you can still totally do this. Of course, if you can't tie any knot, you can always ask a grown-up for some help. Cut off the tiny extra strings, and then you can just start weaving again. Just like last time, wrap it around the first string, and then go over and under, keeping up with the pattern you already had going. We're going to go across the plate 5 times with blue too. Once we have our 5 blue rows, we tie on the green string. Here you can see how I tie strings together. Cut off the tiny strings, and then weave the green string across 5 times. Now I'll show you how I tied on the yellow string so you can see how I do that knot again. Do you notice how after cutting off the extra strings here, I kind of have a tuft of green sticking out? I can hide that with the yellow as I weave. There you can see it's kind of poking out right now, in between the first and the second white string. So first I'll go across one time. And then on my way back, I'm going to smush the green tuft down a little bit and hide it under the yellow. See any green poking out anymore? Then I can finish up my 5 rows of yellow. Here's another good example with the red and orange string. I've got a big chunk of orange sticking out. Now watch how I tuck the orange tuft underneath the red. There. See any orange anymore? Once you finish your 5 red rows, your rainbow is almost done. All you have to do now is tie a knot around the last white string to keep the yarn in place. Try to keep your red string tight when you're tying, so your weaving doesn't get any loose lumpy bits right at the end. Then cut off the extra red as close to the knot as you can, and there's your rainbow. So, did you figure out why we use white thread for the warp? Why, it's because white light has all of the colors of the rainbow inside it. We see rainbows when water droplets in the air, like say, if it's been raining and the sun is out, break the light up into its separate colors. To learn more about that, you can click on the video link in the description of this one. Otherwise, that's it for today. I'll see you again soon, and remember to get those photos of your finished projects submitted so that you can earn a coupon for free Stewart's ice cream. Happy spring, everyone!